Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost. Peekaboo. I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021. The album, Dad AF. Rock on gold dust, woman. Boost. All right, we're going to get into the drama in just a second. But before I do, I want to say a very special thank you to AdamandEve.com for, yes, sponsoring another video over on my channel. You guys, you know that I love AdamandEve.com. They are a company that I can get behind. I can get behind other things too. But AdamandEve.com, similarly, is a company that I can get behind. Listen, if you're trying to spice up your, love life, your romance life, if, you're a couple out there and you're like, what can we do? People always ask me that. They're like, how do you keep the spice alive? How do you keep the passion alive in your relationship? Well, I mean, it's work, it is. And you have to keep things exciting, and AdamandEve.com can help with that. So go over there and check them out. I have so many friends of mine that are couples, and they're like, okay, they get kind of embarrassed at first, but they're like, we used your code. My code is code Peter, okay? So with my code, you get 50% off your first item plus free shipping and handling in the United States and Canada. Thank God that my my name is not Richard, because then my code name would be... But anyway, my friends that are couples, they're like, we always go over there, well, they don't always, but they'll say, they kind of are embarrassed at first, and then they'll say, we went over there and we looked at the stuff together and we ordered something that was really fun, and so I love that they do that. And you don't have to be a couple to order things over there, obviously. They have many, many things that are for solo adventures as well. So please go check AdamandEve.com out, and if you are comfortable enough with it and you get something over there, let me know that you used my code. It makes me very happy, and it makes Adam and Eve happy, and it makes you happy. And we like to be happy, don't we? So AdamandEve.com aims to please. All right, let's get into today's video. I've got so many things I want to talk about today. I need to put on a little bit of lip gloss. I have to be out of the house in exactly 1 hour to go pick up my good Judy. It is our home group meeting tonight. So anyway, so I gotta get this together real quick. Oh my God, that lip gloss looks so good with my tan, doesn't it? Anyway, I don't know much about clothes, but my hair does not look fierce. The heat miser! All right, so, I put up this thing on Instagram, and I was going to do it for tomorrow, so this may be a two-parter, but I wanted to know what you guys want to know my opinions about. And it was interesting because you guys brought up a lot of things that are currently going on right now. So please don't sign off and be like, oh, one of these videos. No, there's a few questions that are about, things that don't have anything to do with YouTube drama or pop culture, but the majority of them were about things that were literally happening within the last 24 hours. So this is a video that I would typically make anyway. All right, but before I do, I want to encourage you to go over and check out my Twitter today. I put up a statement in light of new allegations that had come out about James Charles, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. You guys, sometimes, I don't know for you, but for me, just to see all this stuff is like, it's really hard, and as a commentary channel, it's like, I don't really sometimes know how to get on video. This is actually, I got asked a question about this, so I'm going to talk about it in just a second. But I don't really know how to get on video and respond to it. And in my life today, this has been a lesson that I have learned over time that, I try not to be reactionary. I have found I am not happy in my life when I am reactionary, that I try to be responsive to things. And there is a huge difference. Like, being reactionary is something happens and you go like that. Being responsive is something happens, you sit back, you kind of take it in, you observe, and then you respond to it. And this whole situation with these new allegations about James Charles and the past allegations and things like that is something that I really want to kind of sit back and decide how I want to respond to that. Because I don't see it as a situation to give opinion based. It's not tea. It's not drama to me. I do want to see how the other commentary channels handle it as well. There are some commentary channels that have been following all of this and have done it, I think, in a very mature manner. Yes, I think it needs to be discussed. How to do that, I'm not really sure yet, but we're going to get into that in just a second. But in light of that today, I was like, I want to put something positive out there about the beauty community specifically, because I think sometimes whether I'm talking about Jeffree Star or James Charles or Tati Westbrook or whoever is, Nikita Dragon or Gabriel Zamora, no, Tati, no! Boost! or Shane Dawson, even though he just kind of was like, you know, he just took a vacation through the beauty community. He took them for everything they're worth. He took every cent of the beauty community and then called them a circus that we wanted no part of. But, you know, I mean, he took a little vacation through the beauty community. Anyway, so I wanted to do something positive in light of that. And so many people ask me to do videos about positive YouTubers, positive beauty influencers out there that, no matter how small or large their following might be, that are doing some really positive things and trying to stay in their own lane and are not problematic. And so I put this tweet out there today at the encouragement of people out there that have asked me to do that, and said, in light of all the darkness within a small segment, because it is a small segment, it's 5 or 6 people that we're talking about, and it's the same 5 or 6 people that are in trouble over and over and over and over again. In light of, and the question that always gets asked is, then why are these people not canceled? Well, the people are not canceled because people continue to watch them. You know, we continue to talk about them. If I don't talk about them, people are like, why aren't you talking about them? So I talk about them. And, you know, when it's lighter kind of like drama, it is interesting for me to talk about. But it is getting so heavy right now. I mean, it's like, this is not, and I don't want to stop doing what I do. I love what I do over here. You know, I love making videos about this. And I get so many messages from you guys that are like, you know, like, I watch your videos for you. I don't even know or follow half these people you talk about. I would then encourage you to go watch. I have 5 other channels today. I took a walk in the woods on my Peter Does Stuff channel and talked about life. And I made a big announcement over there for that channel, and I'm also doing a huge giveaway over there. I'm laughing because if you watch the video and you find out what the big giveaway is, you'll be like, okay, that's an interesting giveaway. I've never heard of this before. So go check out my Peter Does Stuff channel. But I put this out on my Twitter, and it's, in light of all the darkness within a small segment of the beauty community, I want people to link below your favorite non-problematic beauty folks. I need to be reminded of all the good out there, and maybe we can bring them some much-deserved attention. And I just posted it an hour ago. It has 208 comments on it, and it's a lot of the same people, but at the same time, it's a lot of not the same people. Let me go in here, and I'm just going to read a few of them out. You know, Bailey Sarian, of course, was on there. Raw Beauty Christie was on there. There were a lot of, like, bigger influencers. Desi Perkins was on there. There were a lot of, like, bigger influencers that have been problematic at times, maybe in their past. With Raw Beauty Christie, I always think about that. Do you remember when she was on that brand trip? Christy had maybe had a few drinks and she was doing that I don't know if she had or not, but I think she was. And she was doing that karaoke. That is still like one of my favorite moments ever, and I covered that, and I did a whole drama channel about that. And she's like singing, and I love that so much. That was like the moment that I knew, like, oh, Christy, I love you so much. But anyway, I wanted to go in here and I wanted to read just some of the names. And to be honest with you, I don't know if these people are problematic or not. So I'm just going to go through here and read through. Okay, so Bunny said Glamazon God. Someone said Taylor Wynn, Bailey Sarian. Someone said, a lot of people said Teresa is dead. I want to go through here. Okay, let's see. Raw Beauty Christie. Jen Loves Reviews. Jamie Pants. Somebody put Manny MUA, who I think is not problematic, but he is choosing to not come out and really say anything about this James Charles situation, and he just was in a video that was created by James Charles. He was in it with Gabriel Zamora and Got Mick, and so people are like, a lot of people are saying, you know, what's the deal here with influencers that are standing by all this and not coming out and saying anything? And then let me see who else people said. Hold on a second. James Welsh, Raw Beauty Christie. I don't know a lot of these people. Robert Welsh got a lot of comments on here. Lauren Loves. Okay, let's see. Oh, El Leary. You know I love El Leary so much. So anyway, go over there and check it out. Who is the person that liked there was one person on here that liked the tweet that was verified. I want to sing this person out. Oh, Nicole Concilio was on there, and Alexis Fleming. So I just want to say thank you guys. Go over there, put your favorite beauty influencer that's not problematic, and maybe we can bring some light to the really positive people. You know, I think whenever I read the Reddit threads and people are like, I'm so discouraged with the beauty community, it's the same 5 or 6 people that are talked about. And the reality is a lot of people, you know, say, why don't you do videos about, you know, the positive people in the beauty community? And maybe what I'll try to do going forward is every couple of videos, you know, bring some attention to one positive person or something like that. If I did a video and I said the top 10 most positive people in the beauty community, very few people would watch that. And that's just the reality. And I know there's probably many of you sitting out there that are like, well, that's not necessarily true. And what that speaks speaks to is your integrity. That speaks to your morals and your principles, that you are attracted to good, that you are attracted to kindness and people that are putting positivity out there, right? But the reality is that many of us out there are attracted to chaos and drama and all of that that's going out there, right? That's why those are the videos that sometimes get the most views. And that's just the reality of the situation. But that doesn't mean that for the goodness of all that I can't do a video like that. And I think that I need to go in and I need to educate myself on some of these people that I don't know. And then I will come back out and maybe I'll do that video down the road. So anyway, I want to get into some of the questions that I was asked, and these are kind of all over the place. So hold on a second. I handpicked some questions out before I got into this. And like I said, this has only been up for like an hour or two. So these questions oh, my little dog Boo Radley. These questions are like not all the questions that I'm going to get. So I'll do some tomorrow. Someone said, why is James Charles uncancelable? Or uncancelable? Uncancelable? Why is he on the ability to be canceled? Well, you know, it's interesting. When I was reading these threads, there were so many people that were coming underneath there, and they were defending James, and they were saying now there's all these people coming out there, and blah, 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 whatever. And the reality is, the more allegations that come out, it almost is like I think people are becoming immune to it. And, you know, like I said in a previous video, it's interesting to me that James Charles, you know, 2 years ago was basically canceled over Tati Westbrook's word, and now all of this is coming out. I don't know if it's because who it's coming from. You know, I don't know if, like, I'm trying to think if somebody, if let's just say, for example, if a big influencer, like, you pick, I'm not going to put somebody's name in that position, but if they came out and they said, like Tati did at the time, these things are problematic, and yes, I see them to be true, or I see them to not be true. You know, how would that affect James overall? You know, if somebody came to his defense and said what they had seen behind the scenes, and no, it wasn't true, or yes, it was, or whatever. It is interesting to me that none of these influencers are saying anything, you know, like, I mean, they're very close with James. So, I don't know, I think that we're going to find out more as more time comes, but it's just over and over and over and over again. And I think at some point, you know, and you have to also remember James' audience is very, very young, and I think they're the ones that are excusing this away. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. And this is where I say that I really kind of want to do my research on it and kind of go in and look. And for me, this isn't tea. This isn't drama. It's yes, I think it's something that needs to be discussed and have commentary on. And when people say, well, you're a drama channel or whatever, but, you know, today's commentary channels are very much like back in the day, like Meet the Press. I mean, you know, it was like, or, you know, like, I'm not saying that these shows by any means are highly intellectual, but The View or The Talk, right? This is a topic that if this was like mainstream, they would talk about that. They would, right? And I think that when it comes to YouTube, commentary channels are talking about these things, important things, right? So I think more will come out. The next question that I got, and I'm going to throw some back and forth in here, so there's some more serious questions down the road, I promise you. So Beauty Unscripted asked me, what do you believe happens when we die? Sorry to ask a heavy question, love you, Peter. I don't think it's a heavy question, I don't, you know. For many, many years, I was very, very afraid to die. It was a huge issue with me. If you watch my vlog, my Peter Vlogs channel, it's something I've talked about at length, that when I went to search for a higher power, because that's important for me in my sobriety, and that was at about 2 years sober, that I really wanted to specifically identify what my higher power was to me. In 12-step programs, we don't tell you what your higher power is. You get to pick a higher power of your choice. And so when I started reading books, and my sponsor at the time said, read a book that is, what's your biggest fear? And I said, dying. And he said, read a book that is about something to do with that. And I actually read Sylvia Browne's book, The Other Side and Back. And although Sylvia Browne came out to be found as a huge fraud and phony, as far as being a psychic, the book really helped me. It talked a lot about like what the other side is like, referring to an afterlife, and that we make a blueprint for a life, that we have spirit guides, and I very much believe in a lot of that, although it kind of sounds hocus pocus, I know, but I do. And then from there, I went on to, and I'm not going to get into a whole lot of this, but I read major books from all kinds of major religions, and I read about Christianity and Judaism and Hinduism and Buddhism and I don't know, and Native American wisdom, and I don't know a lot about those things, and I don't ever proclaim to be an expert, but I did learn little bits of here and there, and what I found to be true was that there was a common theme between all of them of love, hope, compassion, kindness, understanding, and forgiveness, and that's who I aim to be on a regular daily basis. And so that for me goes into my afterlife belief. When my mother passed away, there was a moment where she was there and then she wasn't, and everything changed for me in that moment, and what I really realized was that we're born, I thought there would be like this trumpets blaring kind of moment, and that never occurred. And what I realized was that we're here, we're born, and we die, and what we put in the middle of it is ours. But I have had glimpses of afterlife moments. I don't know how to speak of that, of spirit moments. And I very much believe in a positive, happy afterlife. And I also believe in forms of reincarnation, and that we come back to learn lessons over and over and over again. If you've ever read the book, Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss, he talks a lot about that in there. This is something I've read a lot about, you guys, okay? But anyway, because it interests me. But I think there's an afterlife that looks very, very similar to this. And in all honesty, I have a very vivid picture in my head of a dream that I've had. Tucker keeps on running through the ring light. Of a house that my mother lives in, and it has no windows and no doors, and it kind of just is open, and our dog Pee-Pee sleeps on a bed with her every night, and I see him there. So anyway, all right, let's get into the next question. Dogs having social media, speaking of which. I love dogs having social media. I think it's cute, There is an Instagram account. I don't know what the guy's name is, but it's Wolfgang something. You can go to my Instagram and find it. It's called Wolfgang whatever. And he has all of these elderly dogs that have health issues. And he, has, adopted all these dogs. And so he has, 8. And then he has, a chicken. And then he has, a boar or a pig. And you guys, and their names are, Wilhelmina and stuff. And it's just the most adorable thing, and I post pictures on my Instagram all the time of cute animals, you know that. That's actually a hashtag that I follow, is cute animals. All right, Marvy asked me, I'd like to know your opinion on the movie The Witches of Eastwick. I watched it recently. Well, if the movie is problematic, I'm not aware of that, okay, but I will tell you that it was one of my favorite movies when I was in high school. I loved it so much. I mean, it was, who was it? Cher and Michelle Pfeiffer and Susan Sarandon, and I loved that movie, and Michelle Pfeiffer was kind of, they were all so gorgeous, and Jack Nicholson, of course, and I remember the scene when they were in the pool in the house, and the opera song Nessun Dorma was playing, and I love that scene so much. So, anyway, yeah, I love the movie Witches of Eastwick. Wearing socks to bed, Brandy asked. Never. That's stupid. Why would you? No. Jaclyn Hill's niece's makeup video. Okay, I have not watched this video yet. And when it first came up, you want to talk about reactionary? When it first came up, I saw it. It's a cute thumbnail and whatever. And it's like her holding the palette. And I thought, well, here are my first two thoughts, okay? Number one, and we have a saying in recovery that first thought bad, second thought good. So my first thought to this was, yeah, I can't imagine anybody better to review her makeup than her own niece. You know what I mean? And the second thing I thought of was how very Laura Lee that Jaclyn is taking her idea and putting her nieces into their own YouTube channel. But I think now, after I haven't watched it yet, I have it saved to watch. I think it's cute, I think, hey, listen, this is more of the content that I want to see, on YouTube, and I'm all down for it. I think. With Laura and Erin, her niece, that lives with them, and that she adopted, I think, that was so natural, and I love all of those videos with Laura and her husband and, and Erin. I love those videos. Well, Jaclyn's a very family-oriented person, too, and she shows a relationship with Jordan. I have said this time and time again, and Jaclyn, she ain't listening to me on this, okay? I don't know if she should start another channel or she should do it on her Jaclyn Hill channel, but if Jaclyn would take what she puts on her Instagram stories and put it into videos, people would watch it. I was actually surprised yesterday at how many people were like, you are so right about the Rylan Adams thing. He is not funny, but if he did decorating and home remodels, people would eat that up. So many people were like, I would watch this. I would watch it if Rylan did that. Y'all, it's not listen, I'm objective. I sit on the outside. I know what I'm talking about, okay? He's not a true comedian. He's just not. But there is something about Ryland that I think is charming if he was doing all of that. Because you could tell he really loves to do that. Equally, I think if Jaclyn were to show what she shows on her Instagram stories, in a vlog style video, I think people would love it. I would like to watch that more than I'd like to watch her makeup reviews, and she doesn't even really want to do her makeup reviews anymore. I think we know that, right? But her Instagram stories, I love Jaclyn's Instagram stories. I'm watching them constantly, and she's so relaxed in them. That's where it's like, to me, it's crazy that Jaclyn's like, I don't really know what to do in videos, like I get very nervous, but she's so relaxed in her Instagram stories, and I love watching her and Jordan, they're back and forth. It's hilarious. It very much reminds me of me and my husband. And so I think, you know, the fact that now her nieces are doing their own channel, I think it's fantastic. Jaclyn's always said she was a family person. You know what? Hey, let's bring somebody up into the world that, okay, you know, wants to do something positive, and this girl is excited about that. I think that's cool, you know? So that's what I think about that. If my aunt was Jaclyn Hill, I might be wanting her to endorse my channel too. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. Madonna, Janet, or Kylie? Well, not Kylie, although I do like her. Kylie Minogue, not Kylie Jenner. I like Kylie Jenner. She's fine. But I'm actually more of a Kendall Jenner than a Kylie Jenner person. But anyway, so it would be between Madonna or Janet, and they're so completely different to me, and I am such a super fan of both. But if I had to only pick one, honestly, somebody asked me the other day, like, who do you think is the queen of pop? And I said forever and ever Madonna. But if I had to pick one, it would be Janet Jackson. I mean, I am such a diehard Janet. I mean, I don't talk a lot about it on here, but I know every word to the song If. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs of life. I love her old stuff. I love, you know, like a moth to a flame burned by the fire. I do. I love all of her stuff. I love, oh my God, back in the day when she was in TV shows. I mean, I have loved Janet Jackson for so long. She is classy. She is sexy. I think she is just demure. I love everything about Janet Jackson, you know, maybe except for the family that she was born into. But I just think, I don't know. I love her so much. I love Janet Jackson. And, I mean, have you seen any pictures of her? I mean, she's unbelievable looking. She just looks fantastic, you know? And so, yeah, I'm a huge Madonna fan, and I love Kylie Minogue too. I remember listening to her. Well, her dance stuff was really hot back in the day. So if my ex and I got together, let's see, 2001. So 2001, I listened to a lot of Kylie Minogue because he liked her. Okay. Cutting family off when they don't respect your spouse in sobriety. Is it wrong in your opinion? Well, I would need to know more about that. I wouldn't tell anybody to cut anybody off without, like, knowing, you know, just based on my own personal experience of what I've gone through. I think, like, you know, okay, this is going to sound... But this is not going to make any sense, but this is just based on my own life experience. Whereas I do not feel like it is my job to explain to anybody else what being gay is about or what a relationship is like. You watch the movies, you read the books. Okay, that's how I feel about it. I have dealt in my life with enough of the questions of from coworkers back in the day, if you can imagine, you know, 40-year-old plus women would say, now who's the batter and who's the pitcher? And I'm like, okay, like that is so inappropriate. Like I would never, and like I don't understand, I really do not understand, you know, and gay men are interested in this too, like who's the bottom and who's the top, right? Like, of course you couldn't be versatile in a relationship, you know, it's only about one thing, you know, like that's what it's always about. And so I think we minimize relationships to that, right? And I've never understood that. I have never felt comfortable sitting at a dinner table or a lunch table at work or whatever, or with coffee with a friend and looked at them and said, you know, so like now when you're going down on your wife, I mean, I would never ask that question. So I've never understood kind of why people think that those questions are okay to ask. But that being said, I will say this, I have a huge respect for YouTubers that put it in the title of their videos and actually answer the question, okay? Don't put it in the title of a video for clickbait, and I may have done that. I don't know. But no, it's like, seriously, it's like, I just think that question's a rude question to ask people. But this is what I was going to say. I do not feel like it's my job to educate people on me being gay. That being said, when it comes to recovery, I do think it's my job to educate people on that. I do think it's my job, maybe not in early sobriety, but it is my job in early sobriety to set limits and boundaries with people and say, hey, listen, you're maybe not healthy right now for my sobriety or my spouse's sobriety or whatever. That I will also say is there are 12-step programs like Al-Anon and Nar-Anon for friends and family members of alcoholics and addicts. Those are questions for somebody there. Please go seek those programs out. It's about you working your own program in relation to the alcoholic or addict in your life. And they're sister programs, and they're there for a reason. So please go seek those programs out. The next question I got is, what makes you think that Tati won't come back? I think she will. I I don't think Tati will come back because of these court cases, number one, are such a huge mess. Number two, she knows the minute she comes back now that everybody, I mean, now all over Twitter today, people are like, was Tati right about James? Was Tati not right about James? Was she telling the truth? Did she know? Did she back up? Did she know and then she backed it up because By Sisters wasn't received well? On and on and on. How's she going to come back and just do a review video at this point, you know? So I don't really know how she would come back unless she was going to make a video talking about all of that. And I really, to be honest with you, Tati, to me, has always been a bit fragile. I'm not really sure she can handle all of that. And so for me, I think, like, she probably just won't. I think it makes me sad to some degree. I think, you know, I don't really know, though, how she would or how she could, unless she's just going to come back and start posting videos. You know, a lot of people do that, you know? A lot of people do just come back and they start posting videos and they take the hate and they just move through it, you know? Maybe that's what she'll do and say, well, I miss it so much. She's also been gone, you guys, for a really long time, and who knows what's going on in her personal life behind the scenes. I wish her all the best. I really, really do. And I hope that, you know, she only finds happiness behind there, but I also think it's interesting that she dropped this bomb and then walked away, you know, like, and that's really what happened last June was this huge mess. It's still, I mean, it's still like the after effects of it. Somebody also asked me if I thought that Jenna Marbles would come back. Well, actually, I saved this one. Where is it at? Let me see. Well, they asked me if Jenna Marbles will come back. I do believe that Jenna Marbles will come back to YouTube. I do not think it'll be for a while. I think it'll be another year or two. And I think that when she comes back, I think that she will come back in a completely different way and she will reinvent herself in a way that I don't even know how to explain it, but my gut tells me it will be something on YouTube that we've never expected before, we've never seen before. I think Jenna Marbles is genius. I was actually thinking about this last night. I was thinking about the old show with Hannah Hart, My Drunk Kitchen. I was watching Drag Showdown, which is like people always ask me, what do you watch? I watch Drag Showdown. It's one of my favorite shows on YouTube, and it's about, it's so fantastically done by Crystal Ball Diva, and she deserves an award. She puts this whole thing together, and it's basically like RuPaul's Drag Race, but it's underground drag, and it's so fantastic, and these kids that are doing it, I mean, their drag is like creative beyond belief. This one last night, I mean, there were some really, really good ones. Raya Sunshine did a great one, but this one, Salem Ofax, that is on there, she did this routine, and we're talking young queens too, you guys. They had to do comedy, like cooking shows, and she did this one that was like, I mean, identical to like a spoof on Telemundo. It was such perfection. I was like, you could create this as a show on YouTube and get a mass following off of it. So I watched Drag Showdown, but what was I saying about that? Okay, I think that Jenna Marbles will come back and she will do something that is reinventive in a way that I don't think anybody has expected before. And I don't think it'll be a YouTube original show, but it could. But I think maybe she'll do some kind of documentary following her life for a year or something. I don't know. It'll be something that we've never seen from her. But I was thinking about, that's what I was going to say. I was thinking about My Drunk Kitchen and like Jenna Marbles and doing like the Disney princesses and back in the day. They were doing these 5 and 6 and 3 minute videos that were going viral and being shared on Facebook. YouTube's different today. There's, you know, Glozell Green was reading Kesha lyrics in 3 minutes and getting, you know, millions of views. Like, that's a different YouTube. We don't have that today. So whatever Jenna Marbles does will be completely different than we've seen before. Someone said, parents who have recovered but still aren't present, do we forgive and make the first move? I think it's hard. You know, I will say this, and I can only speak from my experience. There was a period, and this was before my husband and I got into marriage counseling, and this was a big part of our counseling, when I was going to so many meetings a week. I was going to like 6 meetings a week because I hadn't gone for 4 years, and I came back in, and I was like a newcomer, and I was going to all these meetings. And Alex had made a comment about it. My husband had said, you know, you're just gone a lot. And I talked to my sponsor at the time, and he said, remember, you got sober to be a better son, a better husband, and a better friend. You did not get sober to be, you know, gone all the time. In early sobriety, I think it's important to be in a lot of meetings and to be doing a lot of sobriety work, and it's always important to do that. But I think the reason why we got sober is to get our life back, and we have to remember that as well. And for me, I have to remind myself on a regular basis, you know, I got sober so I can go out to dinner with my husband. I got sober so I can drive around in a car with my best friend. I got sober so I, you know, can go see my dad and my stepmom and hang out with them. I didn't just get sober to preach about it, you know what I mean? I got sober so I can have a life today. And I think a lot of people forget that because they're scared, you know, and they find solace in 12-step meetings, and they find find, you know, fellowship there. And so it's like that's where they feel the safest and they don't want to go out of that, you know? Okay, this is getting really long. I'm going to be late to the meeting. No, I won't. Okay, someone said Jyn Shaw being arrested for wire fraud and money laundering. You guys, well, I have to say, I got up today and it's going to stop, so hold on a second. Okay, I know it's going to stop because it stops at 30 minutes, but that was 29. But on my vlog every night, I know it's because it stops at 30 minutes. But anyway, I woke up today to the news that Jyn Shaw, so she is one of the cast members of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and she was arrested for, I believe, wire fraud and, what do they say? Wire fraud and money laundering. So she supposedly owns a telemarketing company. You guys, I do not even know what to make of all of this. Weirdly, and I said this on Twitter, somebody asked me, I'm not super shocked, honestly. Like, one of the questions, like my husband and I don't know if you guys watch Housewives, but we watch a lot of the Housewives, and we sit there, and I'll be like, always like, how do they have so much money? Like, she has more money than anybody on the show, except for Mary, I think. Well, actually, that's not true. I found, Tanya, my good Judy, she looks all this stuff up. Heather has the most money on there, okay? I will say this about Heather, and I was going to say this a long time ago, but I'm not going to say, I don't know why I didn't say it then, but now I'm going to say it now because it's so confusing to me. Heather, who I love on the show, she owns Beauty Lab, which is like this, aesthetic company in Colorado or in Salt Lake City where you go in and get your Botox and all that kind of stuff, your fillers. One thing I do not understand is when you go to her website, he was actually in one episode of her show, but I happened to go to her website and I do not understand it. She has like all these pictures of all of like the doctors and the nurses and the receptionists, and it's like on their staff. And then you get to the picture of the general manager and he's literally like in a tank top smoking a blunt. And I'm like, why do you have this picture on your professional website? I'm so confused by this. So anyway, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what she speaks of for the Beauty Lab. It was confusing to me. I would have done headshots for it, okay? Like professional headshots. So Heather, I love you, but if you're watching this, girl, you need to get professional headshots for your, because there's a doctor and he's like on a lounge chair by a pool. And I'm like, why do you, and then somebody's got, her partner's taking a picture in the car. I'm like, you need to have professional headshots. Like, this is weird. So anyway, but I've always wondered how Jyn Shaw and her husband had so much money. He is a coach for a college football team, and he is a recruiter, I believe, right? So, I mean, I've known people in my life that did that exact same job, and I don't for colleges around here, and for good colleges too, that were family friends of ours, you know, and I don't know, like, I mean, I'm talking Big Ten, you know, colleges, and they didn't live in houses like that chalet that Jyn Shaw has. So I would always say to my husband, I'd be like, what does she do? And he'd be like, she has a telemarketing company. She sure does, and she just got arrested for it. So anyway, that's what I think about it. I texted actually my husband. Do you guys want to hear our little conversation about it? Okay. So I texted my husband and I said, Jyn Shaw arrested and indicted federally on grand fraud charges. I think that's what I said. I think that's what it was. I read the article and then I just immediately texted Alex. And then he said, that's crazy. I'm sure they'll keep her next season just for the storyline. And so I said, it's all over the news everywhere. And I said, she and her assistant are in trouble. And he said, I mean, are they convicted? Is there going to be a trial? And then I linked the article. So anyway, yeah, we do talk about all this. We do. But it's sad at the same time. It's like, this is for me where it's like people's hunger for money. I don't really understand it. It's like, why do you need all that, you know? Okay, let me, hold on a second. Okay, do you think Jenna Marbles will ever come back? Those around James Charles staying silent. I don't understand it. Like, you know, silence says a lot, I think. UK Drag Race, I just recently started it. I'm absolutely loving it. Scaredy Cat, I'm on second episode. Scaredy Cat went home. I thought Scaredy Cat was so creative. I was like, oh, I was kind of hoping that Scaredy Cat would make it further. Influencers who continue to support problematic influencers publicly. Why? I don't understand it. I really don't. And in fact, Manny has done such a great job, of staying out of the drama. And I mean, like with Got Mick doing this video for James Charles, like Gabriel Zamora, who cares anyway? So I mean, he just like his entire brand is built on being problematic. But Got Mick is on RuPaul's Drag Race and has a really great shot at winning, possibly. I don't, y'all are like, you obviously haven't watched the last 2 episodes because Got Mick probably got kicked off. No, I don't believe that. But like, why would you put yourself in that situation? Think of, what about your career? What about your life? What about your reputation over your friendship with James Charles? I don't understand that. Then if that's how strongly you feel about it, then come out and make a statement. That's how I feel. 1,000 Pound Sisters, will there be a season 3? Absolutely. I need to catch up on that. So I don't know if you guys know, but I used to do Amy Slayton videos, Tammy Slayton videos. Amy and I have talked quite a bit. She's actually a really, really nice girl, and she gets a bad rap. But you know what? Who cares? Because Amy Slayton, she won overall, didn't she? She's lost a bunch of weight. She just posted yesterday, she's in the XL for the first time since she was in high school. And I just want to say congratulations to her. That is absolutely amazing. And Amy is making all of her dreams come true. She's lost weight. You know, she's just as happy as she could possibly be. And I think that's amazing. And she took YouTube and she used that to her advantage. And I think that that's cool. Okay, I'm going backwards now. UK Drag Race. Let's see. Jenna Marbles. Opinions on family members not accepting you coming out as gay. Just need some love right now. I think it's hard. It's really, really hard. What I tell people, and I'm not talking about, I have had friends of mine whose family said, get out, you're dead to us. That's a different story. But with family members that have a hard time with it, you know, like I always said about my mom. So my mom was very, very liberal and she was very accepting, but I think it was hard for her when it came to me. She never was upset that I came out as gay, but she would say, like with boyfriends, like, and this is just, I would say in my first year or two, she would call them friends. Like if she introduced them to somebody, she'd say like, that's Peter's friend, or she would say special friend. And I'd be like, oh mother, that sounds so bad. Do not say special friend. Do not say special friend. You know, and really for my mom, what changed it was the murder of Matthew Shepard. And I don't know if you guys, we don't talk much about him anymore, but it's an important story. Matthew Shepard was killed for being gay, and he was hung on a fence. And it was just absolutely tragic and Laramie. And when that happened, my mother watched it very, very closely. She sent personal messages to his mother. You know, that was, I think, when she realized that could be my kid. But I also say this about family members and friends, is that they have a coming out process too. And we have to be as patient as we possibly can be with them. And I'm not in my life today, like, I don't want to cut people out that quickly. You know what I mean? So, but I will say this. Today, when people make ignorant statements to me about being gay, I put them in their place. I don't deal with it today. I don't have to. I've lived too long. I've been out for 30 years. And, I don't do that today. It's 2021. You know, Nikki Tutorials, she posted this thing. I want to see if I can find it because I think it's important. Nikki Tutorials posted this thing where she got this comment and she was referring, I think, to her fiance that defended her. So anyway, where is it? I'm up on her. Hold on a second. So she said, why Dylan has my heart. Somebody commented on Nikki Tutorials video and said, you and Nikki, please be safe. Said something like, love you and Nikki, please be safe always. And this person responded and said, yeah, both wear condoms. So transphobic in 2021. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth if you don't agree with it. There are some opinions that don't need to be shared, and you show your ignorance by your opinion. And I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. And she put underneath here, some people just can't help being transphobic. And now her fiance responded to this and said, now I try not to respond this way, but he responded and said, your dad should have worn one, to be honest. And she said, and that's why he has my heart. So anyway, and I thought that was great that Nikki came out and, you know, defended herself, as she should, you know. So anyway, the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk more about this on my video tomorrow, is that so many people ask me about this Lil Nas and Nike shoe thing and the music video, okay? First of all, I need to go in and read the opinions of others because I guess I don't really know how I feel. First of all, the video I watched, I'm not really sure why people are having that big of an issue with it. Is it because who it is? Is that what the issue is? Because of who it is and he rode a stripper pole down to hell? Like, I mean, is it really a whole lot different than the WAP video that we saw? Like, I don't understand, like, and I understand this whole kind of like heaven or hell thing, and people are having issues with the religiosity of it. And the shoes, apparently there's blood in the shoe, and it's got a satanic pentagram on it, and it says 666. I actually read this article about it. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that I got the quote right of what he tweeted out. Damnation. I think I'm in the Jyn Shaw article. But he said on here, okay, at the very end was where the comment was. He tweeted out his response to people coming for him, and he said something about, I was living hell. Hold on a second. Where is it? shoot, I had it all ready to go. But he basically said, you know, that because people are talking about how they're confusing the audience with, he said, I spent my entire teenage years hating myself because of the SH I took. Y'all preached what happened to me because I was gay, he wrote. So I hope you are mad. Stay mad. Feel the same anger you teach us to have towards ourselves. And while I'm not a believer in having hatred and anger towards yourself, when I watched the video, to me, although it was highly provocative, it was a creative, I think, representation of how an artist feels in his heart. That's what I saw when I watched the video, you know? I think there are 1,000 more offensive videos out there is what I think. I don't know. You know, I think it depends on what you're offended by too. And the shoe thing, I don't really know how I feel about it yet. And I don't I see all the time people taking Louis Vuitton and Nike and Chanel and doing different things to it. So if Nike is gonna come out and does this mean that this is gonna set a precedent? And then when you get on Etsy and you see people taking Louis Vuitton and doing all this kind of different stuff with it, Louis Vuitton's gonna be suing them too? I mean, I don't know. Or is it because they said it was mass produced? There were 600 and, you know, I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway, I need to look more into it, and then I'll let you guys know more in the video tomorrow. All right. So I love you guys. Don't forget to use my Adam and Eve code, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.